Good afternoon, traders. How are you? This is Mohamed Yaoud, the Global Head of Market Research at ONEPRO, and welcome in our new live session for the analysis for today. It's Friday, basically the 20th of January, and it's the last day of our trading week. Markets are a little bit calm since yesterday. We didn't have any big or major movements. We are trading some sort of in a sideways range because we don't have any some sort of major risk events or economic data to be released today. So markets are taking just a little bit of a breather by the end of the week. So as usual, today is our live session to discuss the markets. What do we have on our economic agenda that we should be looking for during today's trading sessions? We are just like 1 hour into the European session. So what do we have in the European session as well as the US markets? No Asian session for today. It's already done for the week. So let's start by having an economic look on the agenda as well as the technical analysis. What does the technical analysis mean? Do we have any patterns that we should look for? Are there any trade opportunities that could be turning out as profitable setups for today? This will be discussed in today's video, so please stay tuned. Starting off with the economic calendar for today, as we agreed, it's the 20th of January and it's Friday. Basically, we had early by the beginning of the European session around 1 hour ago, we had some data from the Eurozone as well as the Great Britain. It was regarding the retail sales as well as the German PPI. So regarding the German producer price index, we can see here that it's basically calming down a little bit. So it recorded a decrease of 0.4% during the past month, which is not as the market expectations, but it still shows that the PPI, which is a secondary measure of inflation, is basically cooling off a little bit during the previous month. And as we know, Germany is one of the biggest industrial, if not the biggest industrial country in the Eurozone. So basically the PPI or the inflation figures from Germany should overall impact the inflation in the Eurozone. We also had this retail sales. Of course, it's a bad reading, which is good basically because central banks at the moment, they are rushing into tightening their monetary policy by raising interest rates. So they want to see that kind of the economic activity is cooling down a little bit. So they want to see some slowing in the economic activity as a whole, of course, as well as the labor market. So the retail sales in the Great Britain shows that it has decreased during the past month with 1%. Basically, which is lower than the expectations and even lower than the previous reading. Going forward, we do have just a couple of things to look for during today's trading. On top of that, basically, will be speeches from monetary policy leaders. This includes the ECB President Christine Lagarde. She is set to speak, scheduled to speak today in the World Economic Forum in Davos. And the title for the panel discussion is really interesting because it should be, is this the end of an era? So markets want to know what's the end of the era. Is it a pivot sign? Will the ECB probably change the monetary policy any soon or so on? This is basically what we will be looking to know during today's panel discussion in the World Economic Forum. We also have some speeches from the POMIC members, member Harker as well as the member Waller. They are expected also to give some speeches today, so this is something that we should be looking for. After the speeches from FOMIC and ECB members, we will be having a look on the retail sales data from the Canadian economy, and the top important thing to look for today is basically the existing home sales from the US economy. Not so much data to be looking for during today, not a lot of economic releases. However, markets, as we agreed, is already moving in a sideways range just by the end of the trading week. I believe only nothing moved yesterday except gold, let's say. So yeah, let's have a look on the technical analysis. It's time for the charts. What do we expect, and are there any trading opportunities today? Let's answer this question right now. Starting off with the US dollar index here, basically we can see since yesterday we are still trading lower or below the resistance levels of 102.50. However, this downward move is basically this price action of the move to the lower is correction. It's just a price action for a correction. It's not a new downtrend. So I do believe that, yeah, dollar is edging lower at the moment. However, it might be a good opportunity to catch a long trade or a buy position on the US dollar during today because, yeah, the move to the downside price action is really taking this sort of correctional phase. So let's see what's happening on the Fibonacci retracement. We can see that the dollar at the moment is just trading around the 50% Fibonacci level, which is around 102 levels roughly. It's just around the 102 levels, which is a key psychological level here. So as long as we hold our trading above those levels from here, I would really love to see a bullish price action pattern, maybe an engulfing, maybe a hammer, just to make sure that we are staying above those levels. Only then I'll be looking to go bullish on the US dollar index from those levels back to the levels of 102.50. This is something I'll be highly watching during the day. So that's on the US dollar index. On the euro versus the dollar, it's basically taking the opposite side. We mentioned in yesterday live that it's a clear move in the sideways range. Okay, so we are having those support levels of 1.0780 and the resistance of 1.0867 roughly. Here we go, we are trading inside this sideways range. Here we stopped around the equilibrium, up, down, etc. So today the euro is basically targeting the levels of 1.0867, which is a key resistance to look for. And from those levels, I would love to see bearish price action take place here. So if we have this bearish price action around the 1.0867, we will be shorting the euro versus the US dollar back to the levels of equilibrium, which is 1.0820. That should be a good trade of around 43, 45 pips roughly. Only then you can move your stops into break even and target another 40 pips down to the support of 1.0780. So this trade, I do believe this might play out during the US session today, or maybe by the late European trading. So this is something that we need to keep an eye and watch closely on. Regarding the pound versus the US dollar, it's still moving, let's say not in an upward trend. It has been trending higher for some time, but the previous or the recent price action here, it's definitely a sideways range. Yesterday, the pound failed even to reach the levels of the previous high, which is 1.2411. As long as we are trading below that level, which is a key resistance not only on an hourly time frame, but even on a 4-hour time frame, as soon as we touch those levels, we should definitely see some bearish pressure from here, because on the 4-hour time frame we can see how this momentum shows a bearish divergence. So a move to the upside, weakening momentum here, you're approaching a resistance. I do believe a double top might play out here, and the pound basically on the medium term is bearish. However, on the short term, we will be waiting for any touch today to those levels of 1.2411. So another higher move is expected only during the day, not too much, maybe just around 30 pips. So a quick trade could take place to the upside. However, after bearish price action take place from the 1.24 levels, we will be going short on the pound versus the US dollar. The dollar yen basically is doing nothing since yesterday. It's still moving in this sideways sloppy price action. So it's not trending higher, not trending lower, not even moving in a sideways range that you could trade with available, limits or support and resistance that you can draw on your chart. So basically the dollar yen, although I do believe is expected to go higher during the day, because it's some sort of trying to form this upward price channel. But the overall price action is just to, yeah, this can be a good trade maybe on the 30 minutes time frame, up and down, up and down. It's a price channel. However, it isn't as interesting to trade during the day as the other pairs. So for me, basically, the dollar yen is to be kept on side. The pound yen is basically doing exactly the same as the pound versus the dollar. Again, a sideways range. Yesterday, we failed to reach either the support or resistance. Basically, this is a sideways range that's interesting to trade because you have clear limits of this sideways range. So you have your resistance around 161.60 and the support around 155.60. So up and down is also something that you can trade, buy high and sell, buy low and sell high. So from here, maybe you can short. If prices reach the levels of support, 155.50, it would be a good trade to the upside. On the other hand, if prices reach the resistance, it should be a short trade to the downside. As soon as you see bearish or bullish price action accordingly, whether it's support and resistance, you can definitely trade on this sideways range. It is interesting to watch. Gold is basically bullish at the moment. It's still edging higher. It still has this momentum to the upside. Uh, Yesterday, we had our target set around 1925 or 1925. Basically, we reached those levels. A break to the upside, a retest has taken place, and off we go. We are moving higher on gold. However, on the short as well as the long time frames, we can see that the momentum is not supporting another move higher. We have this bearish price action, bearish momentum divergence, as we have another one also here. So yeah, gold is going higher. However, I do believe that as soon as we reach a key resistance level, gold will be moving lower. If you want to know where is the key resistance on gold trading, you can definitely jump higher on the daily time frame. It seems that the nearest resistance is basically 1960. So a bit far from here, we're talking about 350 pips. So yes, although the momentum is weak on the short time frame, you can still go long here. And is it a price channel? I don't believe. Yeah, it's not even a price channel. However, the price action is showing, yeah, we are continuing the move higher, however, with weak momentum so far. US oil has been trending higher since yesterday, and yes, we are definitely going to target the previous high around the 81.98, or let's say $82 per barrel. So this is a quick trade that you can have today. Around 60 pips to the upside is something that you can definitely play out with. So we are having this equal lows, and we are, I do believe we will be having those equal highs here. So it's another sideways range taking place. However, as for today, levels of $82 per barrel is something that we will be targeting as per technical analysis, and also make sure that we are already at the end of the week. So on Friday, I do believe that it's always technical analysis that plays out, because all of the economic data has already been released, or most of it has been released during the week. No any big events or risk events or major economic data is expected to be released today. So just trade the technicals straight what the chart says. And the last thing we would like to discuss is basically the US Dow Jones. It's bearish. It has been bearish for quite some time, and I do believe it will be bearish for another, maybe for the next period. What's happening on the US Dow Jones is that we have lost around 1,000 pips during 2 days, I believe, or a little bit more than 2 days. And it's now stopping for a correction, which is kind of ordinary. It's normal for price to correct or retrace a little bit after this move. However, I would be really looking for a 50% retracement to the levels of 33,470, which is also a key, very key as resistance level. It has been served as resistance before, served as support, and now it should serve as resistance all along with the 50% Fibonacci retracement. This is something interesting. So during the day, you might be I don't personally recommend trading against the trend, but for people looking out there to have some quick trades against the trend, I do believe you might be having this 300 pip move to the upside to target the 50% Fibonacci. If you're like me, you're someone who is risk averse, just trading with the trend, we will be waiting for prices to reach those levels here, and from which we can basically short the US Dow Jones back to the levels of the key support here, 32,820. That's basically what we'll be looking for during today's trading in the US markets, especially on the Dow Jones. So yeah, that was all for today's live analysis session. Thank you for watching this. It will be, of course, uploaded on YouTube. If you have any further questions or maybe instruments that we haven't yet analyzed, you can send us a comment, type the comment below, or send us a message on social media. You may find us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Telegram, Instagram, and all of the social media platforms, and we will be happy to assist you with your trading. That's from the market research team at ONEPRO. Thank you so much, and we will meet again tomorrow. Not tomorrow, we'll be having a weekend. Let's meet again on Monday by the beginning of the new trading week. Please stay safe.